rush to work, rush to whatever business you're up for that morning. But Tuesdays seem to be slower. And even body language speaks a lot in showing that slowness. Welcome to Let's Talk on 99.5, which is Nigeria's business radio. Let's Talk is a news and current affairs program. News and current affairs, so whatever makes news the past 24 hours, make sure guaranteed we're beaming it here. And it's live on social media, and it's live social media across all platforms, especially on Facebook, www.facebook.com/wish99.5 FM. We discuss issues. It's audience participatory, interactive. So at some point, I'll open up the phone lines for you to dive in the conversation and have your own meal. Your own fair share of the meal that we serve here every morning. Welcome once again. It is always aided by the advancements of experts that we bring here daily. Weekdays, Mondays to Friday, to help us in analyzing, make sense out of whatever situation that we're talking about at every point in time. My name is Cosby Jones, the radio chief. So get that. I want that to register so that there won't be any mistake about it. On the Parliament, I'm the speaker. But on Let's Talk, I'm just Cosby Jones. If you're at the radio chief, you get a bottle of water. So get ready. Today on Let's Talk, we have Tinubu certificate. Atiku is seeking to expose identity fraud. Obaseki is telling us. You see, I think what Atiku is doing is to expose identity fraud. And the Supreme Court fire. If you were here yesterday, remember we talked about Supreme Court and the fire that courted some session of the Supreme Court, saying that sensitive election petition materials are safe. So make no mistake, it did not touch it. To stop with the fears. PDP had already said, told us that they are suspecting something might be on the ground. That fire. It might be human. It was human. Human advancement to making sure that some documents are concealed. And then subsidy, Tinubu's subsidy removal claim, a propaganda gone wrong. If you remember that it's news around town that the federal government is paying assistance paid last month 164 billion naira just to keep fuel where it is now, not selling above 162 naira nationwide. Welcome once again. On this show, you will hear me say welcome, welcome, welcome. You know why? Because I am very hospitable. I like welcoming people. So, especially when I have food, I welcome people to come and eat. In the studios with me, I have Mufasa Yimasan. He is a public affairs analyst. He is a social crusader, former Niger Delton. Mufasa, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, the radio chief. Good morning, listeners at home.
All right, thank you very much. I also have Emi Fiera. He is an activist. He's also a public affairs analyst. Emi, you're welcome.
Cosby, I greet you. Nigerians, I'm always loyal.
All right, remember, this will be on ATN, Atlantic Television Network later on. So keep your watch. ATN is on StarTimes, conspicuously displaying. You can't miss it. No, you can't. So are you ready? Yes, I am. So let's dive straight to it. The Director of Research and Documentation of Atiku Kowa Presidential Campaign Organization, Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, said that his principal, Atiku Abubakar, is insisting on the release of President Ahmed Tinubu's academic records by the Chicago State University, principally in order to expose alleged identity fraud. Obaseki said this during a Zoom conference hosted by Professor Gold Emmanuel, a psychologist based in London, on Monday. Now, they explained that Tinubu was fighting to prevent disclosure of details of the documents which he admitted would cause irreparable damage to his person. Because of this and other facts contained therein, according to him, a shocker awaits Nigerians when details of President's academic records are made public by the university, because the real owner of the certificate he has been laying claim to will be exposed. Mufasa Eyimosan, straight to you. The tribunal had given its judgment. Atiku stepped to the Supreme Court alongside his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi. Is this by any way going to cause any harm to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much, Chief. For me, I know that what's at play right now is politics, and I wouldn't want to get myself, involved in, the murky waters of, assumptions and conjectures. Why did I say so? I think it was the same school that came out to say that this gentleman talking about the current president actually, finished from that school as at the time he claimed he finished. If they are equally pushing that the school should, publish his entire academic records, and I don't know if they have such powers, and equally do not know if, as a student, a former student of his school, if you equally have the same power to, object.
What I think they did was approach setting a court of competent jurisdiction to make that happen. As a student, as an individual, you do not have that power.
The man can still approach a court, to say that he doesn't want all of his information to be published. I think he has that right. But then again, if he has nothing to fear, I think Nigerians, will be, willing and eager to know what actually transpired during his days in the institution. So, whether it's going to hinder or affect the court proceedings, I can't say for now. I know that, court processes are actually determined by facts presented before it, and it's going to be left, in the wisdom of the presiding judges to either decide whether or not, such a push or agitation will affect the general outcome of the court proceedings.
Of the court proceedings. Yeah. I like one takeout from what you said is that if it's afraid of nothing, there won't be any need to hide behind any cloak to come out clean.
Well, you see, why I made that statement is this. At times there are certain personal information that, of course, he's a public figure now, but I think there are certain things that he may not want to come out in the open. Okay, it still behoves on the authority. When I say authority, it behoves on the strength and power of that order that was issued by the U.S. court, and also if there is a superior authority to counter such order to the extent that you can decide to say that so and so of this man's information shouldn't come out due to his own right to certain privacy. So for me, with time, as the time pans out, we'll get to know what will be and what would not be. But let us not begin to live in the world of conjectures and assumptions, because I know what the Obaseki guy, what he's trying to do is to push, and I wouldn't blame him. The major reason why they are running the political party is to see how they can grab power. So whatever that it takes, to bring this man down so that his own principal can eventually come on top in the race, that is what they will do. So, but like I've said before, the court works with facts, and that is what we await to see in time to come.
All right, well, we await the court's facts, and then see what we can make of it. Any Fair, you have a president who is a fraud, who might have lied under oath, who might have committed an atrocity by lying to the whole the world, not just Nigeria, lying to the whole world. Wouldn't that place Nigeria in a very bad place?
Yes, Nigerians, once again, I will only say one thing. Democratic societies are established by law. And for the society to so develop, the citizens must learn to subject themselves to the rule of the law. In other words, they say constitutionalism. Right? People are saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not graduate from Chicago State University. And the man said, I graduated from Chicago State University, has submitted the same records in 1999, 2003. The records were there.
Okay.
Even far back to 1992, 1993 senatorial elections.
Were those results, were those documents questioned?
Now the thing now is, yes, at the time the document was questioned.
By who?
Ganifa Yemi was there. The matter went to the court as far to the point that it was returned back to the State Assembly, Lagos State Assembly.
What was the outcome?
The court said the Assembly has the right to do some of these things because the law is the general overseer, let me use that word,
True.
of all the political happenings.
Okay.
Right? Now, what is expected from every civilized citizens under democratic rule is to await for the report of the institution that is so claimed that are awarded that certificate. And the Chicago State University affirmed in 2003, when President Olusegun Obasanjo then was seeking every means to disqualify Bola Ahmed Tinubu from seeking re-election as governor of Lagos State, and the institution affirmed that this Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is governor in Lagos State, graduated from their school and whatever certificate he's holding, we awarded a certificate to him. Right? Then subsequently, 2023, suddenly, some persons who believe they are Democrats, who live under a constitution, suddenly realized that no, this man did not attend Chicago State University. The confusion was so much, and the institution once again affirmed through their official means that this Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is president of Nigeria, graduated from the institution, and they awarded him the certificate that he's holding. Then what else do you need as evidence?
Let me paint a picture for you.
I'm coming. You see, it is the institution that has the final say to decide that somebody either graduated from the school or not. It happened. I'm coming, please.
Okay.
President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, our brother from Bayelsa State here, our father, had similar issues. When then Olusegun Obasanjo raised the alarm that the certificate Jonathan is parading wasn't his. An investigation went University of Port Harcourt. They made a statement clarifying that yes, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan graduated from the University of Port Harcourt, and that was the end of it. Because this one involves Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some people are now cooking up conjecture, like my brother here said, making all form of spurious allegations, creating what doesn't exist in their minds, and trying to push it down the throat of the people. Barack Obama, the former president of the United States of America, had the same issues. In fact, in 2011, Donald Trump called Barack Obama as one of the most insincere person, not transparent president that America has ever produced. Why? He said Barack Obama should make his academic record public to prove. Then in 2012, around October, Donald Trump then decided that Barack Obama should name any charity home of his choice. that if he can make his academic record public, he's going to give $5 million to that charity home. Barack Obama replied that his academic qualification or records are his private property. He didn't publish them as Donald Trump wanted. That was President of America, and he could be President of America. The matter continued until when Donald Trump was seeking election. Right? His own attorney, Michael Cohen, then, while testifying, then accused Donald Trump that the other time in 2011, 2012, you said Barack Obama should make his academic record public. If it doesn't mean it's one of the most divisive, one of the person who is not transparent in the history of the American president. Now, Obama team are now asking you, make public your own academic records, like you demanded of Barack Obama. Do you know what Trump did? Trump ordered his attorney to threaten all the schools that he attended, including the board of the school, that if they ever made any of his academic record grade public, he's going to sue them. He threatened his own classmates, threatened everybody that is concerned, that if they made his academic record public, he's going to sue them. You see, these are some of the issues. But previously, you were accusing Barack Obama that he should make public the academic record of his Columbia University and Harvard Law School. Right? But it comes to your turn. What did you do? You are now issuing threat to sue anybody that will ever publish your academic record or grades, that they are your personal and private property. The place they are even running to seek this thing is established by law, that is the United States. In 1974, the United States has a law. They call the law FERPA. F-E-R-P-A. F stands for family. Then the E there is educational. Then the R there is rights. Private, the P is private, while the A is act. That act or that law protects the rights of the students. Whatever academic records that you want make public, it must go through their consent, without which no institution, nobody is allowed to publish. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is relying on that law in the United States of America, that your law says this, and this thing now, if you publish it, it will affect me, same way Barack Obama said, because he believed that the opposition, the Republicans and Trump them, might use it for mischievous purposes. That was why Barack Obama refused the publication of his academic records. The same thing Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying. This thing will affect me if you do, relying on your law. It must be through my consent. And I'm saying, don't release, because these people might use it for mischief purposes. And that is exactly what the opposition and the article are trying to do.
I'm struggling so much to see the mischief in asking Emifera to make his certifications public, so we can all know if it's a... Now, do not forget, the school had come out to say Bola Tinubu graduated. They don't know if it's a female or a male, but going forward, the school say Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they make reference to this man. Hold on. A court of competent. I like the fact that you tried so hard to deflect the question. A court of competent jurisdiction came out to say, please, the school should make the records public. And I was asking, if those records were to be made public, and we find some cocky, some very heinous atrocities committed by some sort of any fraud at all, how would it make the nation Nigeria look? It is perjury, issue of forgery. And you would expect? And perjury is actionable. Okay. It's a criminal offense and punishable by law. Anybody that committed such an offense is punishable by the Nigerian law. Okay. So first, the laws are there to deal with such situation. You go to court and prove that this person committed an act of perjury.
and the recommendation of the law is unambiguously stated there, right? So this is what is expected. It is not what about the international community or people will say. Democracy, federalism, or whatever are property or product of law. It is the law that is the conscience of the state. Let Nigeria get this things very clear. America, the United States that you see, has several issues. They don't think about how you feel, how you see it. The interest is the progress and the well-being of America. If you like, feel bitter about it. They don't care. But it's very unfortunate that in Africa, we always want to live our life relying on what people will say, what people will think. How do you grow a nation like that? Nations do not rule by moral minds. It's not about morality. It's not about what you think that is right. It's about what the law says. What the law says is the right thing. If the law says kill, the right thing there is kill.
You know, we always make reference to developed nations, and we model our democracy towards the American system of government. We also have the UK, which colonized. There was a certain Liz Truss who resigned, voluntarily. See, I can't make up all of the promises I made to you. Please forgive me. I tender my resignation. And we'll talk about what America stands for. We've never seen any politician, any office holder, not in this dispensation, not in the past, say, I feel ashamed by doing this. Please, let me vacate this office for proper investigation and let the proper issue take its course, Mufasa. It's hardly ever noticed in Nigeria. We've not recorded any of such incidents in Nigeria. If you look at investigations in some Senate crimes, investigation, not just accusation, and they were investigated, and somebody would just humbly resign, pending when or somebody would say, I'll step aside, let this happen. The person might not come back, the person might, but the person will step aside for not the person's integrity, but the nation's integrity. So when onlookers, when people who assess from the outside look at the nation, they will say, yes, there's a shred of integrity remaining with this nation. We hardly see that happen in Nigeria.
For me, I believe that in this case, I'm sure we've not gotten any form of indictment. We cannot begin to resign because of speculations and conjectures and assumptions. Even in America, I can't recall of any president who has resigned. Even Donald Trump, at the time, even while he was president, certain accusations came. He did not resign. Something strong and weighty has to make a man to resign. In as much I equally agree with you that you at least see that in Africa. But then again, going forward, I want to believe that these are issues that only time can give us the real facts about the matter. In my initial deposition, I said that more of these things is politics. And politicians can go far to try to make their points, try to fly their kites. And for me, it's only when you see the facts, these tangible facts, legit facts, that's when you now begin to take them seriously. Like what my brother and friend has rightly said, that you see, even the university itself as an institution, has a responsibility to protect, certain privacies of their students, both formal and present. I'm sure there are certain confidentiality clauses guiding some of these institutions, even though, there's a court order. That's why I said this man can still, recourse to other provisions of the law to want to protect certain information. But like I've said before, I think if the man equally doesn't want this matter, to stay too long, I think you can still say, well, go ahead and and show them some of these things that they requested for, so that all these old issues can be put to rest. But I think politicians equally would also want to make their opponents' oppositions, make them try to they should keep trying, why focus on governance. But on the issue of whether or not somebody should resign, I do not think this particular matter has even gotten to that extent, because there is no indictment. This one is saying this thing, this one is saying another. No facts on the ground to prove that what you are claiming is actually what it is. Initially they were doubting if you actually went through that school. That was the first kite that they
that we've always said as a nation that we're going to move forward.
Okay.
All right, and move from where we are and moving to something better, a destination that we all agreed is going to make the nation better. And so by doing that, we had to do away with some of the old and usher in the new, positive news. And so one of such is making sure that entities, humans who rule us, come in ways and proper. All right, come in with integrity, and it's proven, sold to Nigeria and sold to the entire world. So I do not see any wrong in scrutinizing the person who is coming to be our president, looking at it from all angles, making sure that the person is clean enough to lead a new Nigeria that we all clamor for. So that's the area that I'm looking at. It is something that we must all agree to. All right, it should be done by law. It should be done in accordance with principles of equity and an all-round stand-up. So I don't see any grounds. I don't see any problem with questioning that. You and Mufasa had harped on the fact that the university had always acclaimed, or always credited that Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended the university. I do not have issues with that. What I have issues with is a competent court of jurisdiction giving an order, and you're saying, hold on, please give it some time. School, please do not release the result. And we're talking about integrity. We're talking about a rebirth of a country. That's why I'm confused.
Cosby, it is said in my local parliament that he that wants equity must come with his hands clean. Right? That's good. If you want a change in a society, you must be the change yourself.
Okay.
Anything you want in a society, you must be the change, be the person that you want. That thing that you want, it starts from you. You start with you, not from. It starts with you. Some people are in court, right? Have you seen the academic qualification of Alhaji Abubakar Atiku published in the public domain?
Nobody has asked.
Nobody has asked. So why did him, since discretion, we are talking about morality, right? We are talking about morality right now. That is what you are hitching on.
Yes.
So why did Atiku Abubakar himself demonstrate that change by first?
It would have been
publishing his own and saying this is my own.
Do you know we would have been talking about this on radio, on television, writing in print media, if someone had asked. I mean, we have see, that is why you ask a question. That is why I'm saying he was supposed to demonstrate the change with himself by saying yes, we want a change, sanity, according to what you are saying now, sanity, bringing betting, new era of leadership and all that. These are my academic record, these are my business record and all that. He was supposed to have started with himself, but has he done so? No. This is the case of Trump, who was questioning that of Barack Obama, but when he came to the top, he said no. He even went as far as threatening people through laws. Right.
See, like you say, in Nigeria, let us try to market our country. Kemi Adonsu voluntarily resigned from position when she was accused, right? And she was accused wrongly. She resigned.
That's a mark of.
She's a Nigerian.
Yes, that's a mark of integrity.
Even Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala wanted to resign then during Obasanjo's first tenure, before Obasanjo find a way, do his things and all that. So these are the things.
Find a way.
Yes, he find a way. You know, Obasanjo, the way he does it. I don't want to go there. I don't want to derail. I don't want to derail this conversation. See, Cosby, in a competition, a fierce competition that involves you and you want to win, whether it is politics, you don't give your opposition room to smell you,
to manipulate.
You don't give your opposition room to bring you down. If an institution who awarded a certificate to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who keeps record, said this person you are seeing there, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is there now, graduated from our school, that is the most vital evidence that anybody will want to look at where issues like this are involved. In the case of Barack Obama, the school, the Columbia University, they even come out to defend, right? The Harvard Law School didn't even make any authoritative press to
right.
But in the case of Tinubu, you have people saying, and some people, some people are still doubting. So if you give the person your certificate based on moral ground, don't you think the person will also doubt and find other means to criticize and smear you? So you don't give room to them. What you do is that you rely on the law. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu have not gone out of the way.
I love the fact.
A court, according to you, a court of competent jurisdiction say give, right? And the court didn't say absolute. It didn't say give everything. Partial. The statement was partial. And to Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not relying on the law in the soil of America, that your law protects me. And he invoked the doctrine of that law. Has the man sinned? The answer is no. You don't kill somebody for not doing wrong.
Again, if I have nothing to hide, I wouldn't say.
There is nothing to hide here. What you are doing is you are relying on the law. Okay. Let those who don't know how to live by law should learn to live by law and submit their action to the rules of the law.
All right.
Let them be civilized enough and stop misbehaving and trying to disgrace. In fact, the real disgrace is coming from the part of those who are making that thing now in the US. It's all the part of Tinubu. If American law say this and you are still insisting, it means you are carrying that your Nigerian mentality that you are so disgracing the country before the war. Americans will be laughing at Nigeria. Our law say this is the law, and you are still insisting that the law should be broken.
No,
if you are breaking your laws in your country, so you mean American law should be undermined?
You are totally towing the wrong direction. Let me tell you why.
Why? How?
Even though I do not have time, I will need to go to the other matters. But I'll tell you why. If you have a law in Nigeria and somebody comes in, do not understand the law properly, and a competent court of jurisdiction in your country says do this, the competent jurisdiction had the power to say no, in America we don't do this, in Nigeria we do not do this, we do it like this, we do it like that, and shame that person. I mean, by the pronouncement of the court, that would have spoken volumes. Hold on. If the court had said, please Atiku, the school had told you what it told you, coming to the court is futile, it's not something we can entertain, that would have been embarrassing enough. But the court went ahead to so like I said, I do not want us to dwell.
The court the court only a partial release, and we've seen the transcripts. The university has released the transcript of Bola Ahmed Tinubu academic records.
Okay.
The transcript signify, in fact, that is in obedience to what the law, the partial release that the court pronounced. Now, what you are also making is that you will see the transcripts, you are also pressing that they should give you, even the investor to come as well under oath. Is that how you behave? Okay, if you are doing that in your country, don't come and disintegrate the laws of America. America is established by law, and that is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying now. And you are carrying that Nigerian mentality of not respecting our laws. You want America to undermine their laws.
You are the person not getting it correctly. I don't know. I'll explain this. Let me explain.
They trust a partial release. That is what the court you are quoting said.
That's what I'm saying.
And there is partial release. The transcripts have been released.
Emmy,
and you are still pressing.
Can you listen to me? You are not listening. You're just talking and not listening.
I'm listening to you.
No, you're not. Listen, America, it has the law, and I'm explaining to you. Let me look for some of that means to explain so that you understand.
I understand.
Okay, so it is the law of America, right? If Atiku ran in contravention of the law, all right, the court would have told Atiku.
The court told them. That was why the court recognized the privacy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
And other
the court recognized it.
And
that's why the court recognized the consent of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in releasing his academic records. The court recognized that right. Even the law was quoted by the court. But you know, Nigerians, there is a way we do our things. We always have a fixated mind, or we always have an end goal we want to achieve. If we are making publications,
that would be,
if we are making publications,
wrong assumption.
It's not wrong assumption. I can tell you, no.
Listen.
Okay, let me use the word most times. Right? Is most time okay with you? Is most time okay with you?
You say, yeah,
is most time okay with you? That's good. Do you know the certificate what Jonathan Goodluck has now? Is attestation.
Let me put you through. When you say we always, and
that is what I withdraw that statement, and I say most times some people,
some Nigerians. Exactly. Some
people, some Nigerians. What Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has is attestation from the University of Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Because he said the academic records were missing. Right? What Basayo read the allegation. So that was why University of Port Harcourt testified that yes, he graduated from this one. And they gave an attestation.
Let's move to
the document to show again.
Sorry, we went on this for too long. A Nigerian had said that we might have removed the subsidy too early, and that this administration, Tinubu is really under fire today, and from news on all media platforms, that subsidy removal or the claim of subsidy removal might be propaganda, and that if it is, it's a stunt that's gone too wrong. Remember, last month the federal government paid 164 billion naira to keep the price of fuel where it is, because the explanation was, as we speak, crude oil sells for $95 per barrel, and if you judge that with refining and landing cost of petrol in Nigeria, there's no way we would have sold for 162 naira if the government hadn't subsidized. And so Nigerians are saying, you remove subsidy and you're still paying subsidy, Mufasa. Isn't this an irony? Isn't this an anathema? Like my good friend would say. Isn't this not? Is it normal for you to say, Mufasa, stand up? If you stand up now, all things will go away. And say, no, maybe you stood up too early. Sit down. Keep sitting until I tell you to stand up. Isn't this confusing?
I want to say that you see, the confusion has actually polluted, the entire, Nigerian geographical space. I heard yesterday coming from the secretary of the federation saying that subsidy has been removed and is gone for good. Now, if you place that side by side with the current reality, what you just recounted, the price of crude and landing cost, refining and all of that, it becomes really very difficult to understand. But like they popularly say, which report do you believe? I'm equally aware that the federal government cannot arbitrarily decide to start paying subsidy. Subsidy payment has to be legislated upon. It must pass through the National Assembly before you begin to spend government money on anything. It must pass. It must be legislated upon
properly.
So at what point
did we legislate on?
Did we? So these are the things that, like I said, when you made reference to confusion, a lot of people are confused.
Because the fact is, as a marketer, when I go into the market to buy products, I expect to make profit. It's not a charity organization. I can't buy fuel. For what, 200 naira per liter, or you want 1,000 naira per liter. Come back to Nigeria we're paying all of this and to sell 162. It doesn't add up, Professor.
That's correct. That is why the government needs to give us a clearer explanation on what is going on in that sector. Even the money that you just you just spoke about, that it was paid to keep the price controlled. How do you explain that kind of money and payment and amount? So for me, I think the only thing that that can douse the tension, the only thing that can give the people hope, or a glimmer of hope, as the case may be, is for us to have that sincerity of purpose, for us to have that determination and commitment that by so and so time, our refineries will start working, and not just telling us by so and so time. It has to start working at that particular point in time, because if we want to go by the current reality, my brother, I think this government should just come out plainly and openly to say that now we've seen the hardship that the people are going through as a result of this first subsidy removal. We thought that is something that we can bear, but obviously, the people can no longer take it, because we can't tell a man to go and start buying fuel at the actual cost of over 900 and something or 800 and something, because going by the realities on ground, if you want to buy fuel normally, if you say you've removed subsidy, you should be buying nothing less than 800 naira per litre. So the government should come out and tell us, okay, now that it has been like this, the proposal has been sent to the National Assembly, let's see how we can reduce the sufferings by paying partial or total for so and so period of time. People want to see that transparency, people want to see that openness, because it is a democratic government. So if you begin to come and try to explain away what people don't understand, it becomes a problem. I know that, you see, no government would want to intentionally and deliberately subject its people to hunger and suffering. But your policy has to be open, your policy has to be transparent, your policy has to be determined to remove the people from level of hardship to a level of near or relative, calmness and some level of comfort, so that people can live to enjoy your government. If people die, everybody died, and who are you going to govern over? So long and short of the matter, by and large, is we want to see a clearer and more sincere explanation on what is going on in that sector, one. And secondly, we should have an actual date and time. Not this, it will come by December, the come out by October, and all of that. They said Dangote will start operation in July. When September, now they've told us again that in October. And the man is still importing petroleum products into this country. Now they've told us that by December, Port Harcourt refinery will start working. I know that they are doing serious, massive work there, but the people want to see sincerity of purpose and intention. The
Port Harcourt refinery have been receiving massive turnaround since the past 1 year.
No, but currently, I'm aware that serious work is going on there. But when people have been deceived for so long, how do you now begin to restore that confidence? That is a problem that we are facing as a nation. But as for the issue of subsidy, what the Secretary of the Government explained yesterday, for me, is not adding up. We should know what actually is going on in that sector. Government should be transparent, government should be open, government should be plain, and government should be fair to the people.
All right, government should be very plain and fair to the people. I know that Nigerians will quickly say that this whole statement was triggered by a statement made by an Atiku aide, Frank Tribal, and maybe it might be political, but don't we deserve a proper explanation? You had thrown away subsidy, and then there was a post made by Daily Trust, and I'm quoting Daily Trust, said that its reporter cited after the FAC meeting, that subsidy was paid to the tune of $275 million. I mean, government hasn't come out to publicly refute this. Don't the government have the right, or do you not have the right to know what's happening in government? Do we not have the right for explanation from government? Government, if you lead the people, you are the numero uno, the number one. You rule millions of Nigerians, over 200 millions of Nigerians, and you take a policy which was not properly highlighted, which was not properly explained to Nigeria. Mufasi just mentioned that it needs to go through the instrumentality of the parliament to be legislated upon, and all of the protocols. That did not happen. and then a reporter comes to make a claim that he or she cited a document purporting that government paid subsidy. Do we not need explanation? Shouldn't that we have a refutal? Shouldn't we say, okay, yes, we did, or maybe we did not?
Yes, first, before I move, I want to get something very clear here. It is not all spendings at every point in time of government that must go through the rudiment of the National Assembly. Why? Because the government already have a budget submitted to the National Assembly, ratified and passed and approved to the executive for spending. So the executive can decide to dip their hand in there, and the source remains, to expend in solving certain issues if the need arises. So in that situation, you don't need to go back to the National Assembly to seek approval, because you're already using what has been approved to you to expend for governance.
Approved in
Yes.
the budgetary allocation.
Yes.
Does have particular amount allocated to each project or each arm of government and institutions. All right. If you use money meant for Mufasa to get a land for something else, it's misappropriation.
See,
are we getting that?
Or money for road, for instance,
and used for water reasons. You have used that money judiciously. No doubt. But you have misappropriated that fund.
Misappropriation is not like that. See, it is the government, right, that made that budget.
True.
It is the government that planned what to do and how they want to do it, due to exigency or whatever issues that may arise, or a new reality may develop.
Okay.
The government might decide to shift grant A to grant B in delivering the dividends of democracy, as the case may be. That is not misappropriation. It's not an issue that the government have defrauded of people. No, that is by the way. However, I want every government official to know, whether you are in the executive, in the legislature, in the judiciary, in whatever capacity within the 3 tiers of government, you are there to serve the people. If you are an appointee, the person who appointed you was elected as a servant to serve the people. While I'm asleep, government should be awake, thinking of how my next day will be fine with me.
Okay.
That is a responsibility. They vow to do that. That is how government is supposed to behave, right? And if we are saying yes, we are delivering dividends of democracy,
okay,
and we are running a transparent, a good government, there are elements that are considered.
Okay.
When you're talking about good governance, and one of the elements is accountability. In other words, as you are elected, you are employed. Let me use the word, you are employed. You owe the people a duty. That duty is being responsible. That duty is being accountable to the people and being transparent in your activities.
True.
Right? If you are not doing this, it means the good government or good governance you are talking about, you are not actually delivering to the maximum expectations. Right? Now we are talking about subsidy removal and reintroduction of subsidy. We must understand that the human society is not fixed. Why? Because human being is not an object that is fixed.
Okay, so you can tell us
human being changes,
that
reality changes,
is removed,
situation changes,
okay,
right?
Okay.
So the subsidy itself is not a bad thing. It is the way that it is run in Nigeria that made it bad thing. Subsidy is a means to reduce the cost of living for citizens. But in Nigeria, it became a draining pipe that was sucking away public resources.
So we had to let it go.
That is why the Nigerian people, the patriotic Nigeria, now target a bad practice that we must let go. And that's what the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided, that they are not continuing the subsidy on PMS.
Okay.
So in this situation now, having the fact that human society is not fixed, a policy should not be fixed, because you are dealing with human beings. The policy is meant for the betterment of the people. So in the course of one policy, and you discover that there are new realities that need adjustment, your policy should be adjusted to accommodate the new reality.
Okay. So
that is to say, if there is need to subsidize the PMS,
let me ask you a very good question, a very fast one, so that we can open up the phone line. So we're taking a lot of time. So there are new realities that may have affected government's decision to add subsidy back to to the stream. And now this was a government that told us that it was prepared. It was a long, lifelong ambition of the president. It came in, took off the subsidy without even remembering that there might be new realities. Took off the society. Even when Nigerians cried, say, you did not put anything in place to make sure that it will cushion the effect, anything to cushion the effect of subsidy. The president was adamant in doing that. And now he suddenly realizes that there might be new realities, and then started paying subsidy again. And you call that Nigerians should, to speak that it was shrouded in secrecy. Isn't that something that the president should have come out to Nigerians and apologized?
See, Cosby, sometimes I get confused. What does Nigerians really want? What Nigerians really want? I hate confusion.
I mean, honestly, Nigerians would want us.
If I have my way, if I have my way, I would have commented on this issue. But because I'm here, I ask questions and I must talk. Because people then must hear my own opinion on the matter. That's what I'm talking.
Go on.
Nigerians, what do you really want? You said the suffering was much. Oh, we need a means to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. The suffering is too much. The prices of foods have gone high, and we can no longer bear it. And the government said they are working on the refineries to be delivered by December. Dangote refinery also coming upstream. So if government has said between now and that December, I have seen that the suffering is so much, I concur. I want to come in. The policy of government is flexible, it's not rigid, and they find a means to deliver that which Nigerians were saying. Introduce subsidy, give us subsidy again, we can't bear it, we are dying. And this thing is introduced, paid, or whatever terms that is used to qualify it, to ensure that the cost of living is reduced for betterment of the people. Nigerians are also not quarreling. Oh, why? We want to know why subsidy again. You should not introduce subsidy now. Oh, you said it. Is the policy fixed? Is the policy rigid?
All right, I'll open up the phone lines now, even though even though Emma is trying so hard to defend a government that clearly introduced an anti-people policy.
Is he a defender of government?
0849073 and then 0702-500-2007. People can't wait to start making that contributions. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Real Gift, welcome.
Good morning, sir. We are not lawyer here.
Let me start from this side. On this house, advocate saga. If for fear of darkness, you be where you're sleeping, you remember this thing cannot be of yours. And I think for me, as a person, even though I knew from the last time when the Supreme Court told us that you don't even need to come with certificate, school start for it to agency, and I say something. You know, will come up from the times will come up from Jeremy. But I think let it be public, because the president today is a public servant. Those are the speculations that is flying left, right, and center. And if I come down to the other side, you know, when I told you my community that before the blind man will tell you I'm still you, you should know that when they close to us, or the information where it's at, you know, the president gave there are subsidies done. Looking at the nitty-gritty concerning the substance of subsidies, that is why we are talking today. Because you cannot, I am convinced that the government is paying subsidy. If not, the government will not come out to tell us that price of petrol will go beyond where it is today. Because you tell people to move subsidy. I want people to know, oh, you're telling to go buy something for 2 naira. I'm not telling for you for 5 people. What are we talking about? Am I using these guys to make profit or to run them for For me, it's a wrong policy that the government, even though I'm in support of more subsidy, because in a country, you guys don't know the amount of barrel of crude you produce in a day, gas or export, and you don't even know how much quantity of fuel you bring in. It's not the same country where we have been able to fix water, and oil.
Yes, that was 2012.
It's really unfortunate. I think making some beggars is not just apologize.
All right.
It's a wrong policy.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the real gift, for your contribution. 0907084973. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, the network seems to be having a very gathered this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Chris, quickly.
Yeah. From the first day the president announced the subsidy of I condemn it because I'm into business. I know what it's going to cost. See, nobody should blame me for. Let's see, Mr. President don't know the meaning of subsidy. So, before I introduce 1,700 to pay off my ticket to get that I used to make it house normal. But now 5,200. That 5,200. So you don't know that I will put it in your head when you come to my office to purchase something. Am I doing charity organization? I'll put it in your head. So most of the things that you bought and sell at the rate of 1,000 or 50 naira or 100 naira, it's now 5,000 or. So am I doing charity organization? So all these delivering people to buy when you see them, they used to deliver. If you don't know that you do it, think it's only 200, but like, if you will just sell something from me, bring something for me for people for 100 naira. You will tell you that no fuel, and you know. Not to me.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris, for your contribution. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Caption. Welcome.
No, I'm not finding it difficult at all.
Go on, Caption. Thank you very much, Caption, for your contribution. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name?
Yes, my name is Kingsley. I'm with your guest.
All right, Kingsley, go on.
Yes,
Kingsley, go on quickly. 30 seconds. Get,
in a country where a government whose its primary responsibility is to govern, to make good government to the people whom